Industrial Revolution, the movement in which machines change people's way of life as well as their methods of manufacture. The power of machines. The Industrial Revolution began in England. Before this time, almost everything had seemed to be happening in America. Communication by letter took a long time, and transporting goods took many months to reach its destination. Within this time, the Transportation Revolution happened. In a world of mass transit, the transportation of raw materials and finished goods was important to build machinery and other products. The transportation revolution led to the development of coal, iron, and steel industries. There are 5 elements that significantly revolutionized transportation revolution: roads, river traffic, steamboats, canals, and railroads. Each element served a different purpose. The construction of railroads were the most significant point of the transportation revolution. Railroads were first carried goods for a short distance, but inventors and engineers alike wanted a way to carry goods as well as passengers over a long distance. The construction of railroads and steam locomotives provided transportation infrastructure to fuel the growth of American commerce. When companies began building railroads, they built hastily and were very expensive. Accidents and delays were common, and train tracks were inconsistent based on the companies. Robert Livingston Stevens invented the T-shaped rail and revolutionized the railroad industry, allowing railroads to grow from 3,000 miles to 30,000 miles within just 20 years. Because of the increase in the use of railroads as transportation, the cost for shipping greatly increased and the industry boomed, leading to the market revolution. The first trains began service as steam locomotives, offering new modes of transport that enhanced the possibilities of even more technological progress. Because of the expansion of the coal, steel, and iron industries due to railroads, it provided many job opportunities for many people, and soon the economy flourished. The construction of railroads created space for new suburbs and towns and opened up previously inaccessible areas. Despite this, the conditions that the workers worked in caused them to revolt and informed the nation of the status and hardships suffered by the working class. Improved transportation meant that America had more potential to expand towards the West. Although this allowed the settlement in the West, it also became a contribution to the extinguishment of the Native American population. The impact of railroads were both liberating and confining, as it boosted economic life and power, but to the death of many others. Over time, mass transit systems became more electrical based from the technological innovation. The use of electricity to run transportation led to an even more progressive revolution and transformed the transit industry. Today, mass transit has evolved all over the world, from the cable car systems in Rio to the bustling subways of Tokyo to Vancouver SkyTrains. There is no doubt that the transportation revolution has created a big impact on the world as a basis of the busy lifestyle that many of us have today. One of the best mass transit systems can be surprisingly found in the small country of Singapore, right at the heart of Southeast Asia. Singapore's main transit system is the MRT, Mass Rapid Transit. The idea of a rail system was first proposed 2 years after Singapore's independence,
and whereas was also agreed by the parties to the said agreement that upon the separation of Singapore from Malaysia, the government of Malaysia shall relinquish its sovereignty and jurisdiction in respect of Singapore, so that the said sovereignty and jurisdiction shall on such relinquishment vest in the government of Singapore.
But it took over a decade for the idea to re-emerge as something worth investing. A comprehensive traffic study in 1981 proved that the all-bus transport system that Singapore was using at the time was not efficient nor practical, and a rail system was recommended instead. The decision to finally build a railway transit system was made in 1982. The NS, or North-South Line, was the first line to be built to connect the city to residential towns of Yishun, Ang Mo Kio, and Bishan. The second phase of the NS line was then established a continuous loop to form the EW line, or East-West line. The NS line was the first train line built in Singapore and was not without critical technical and social problems. Old buildings had to make way, causing businesses to be affected, as well as the increase in traffic congestion due to the constant construction. There were also issues with trying to build a new track below the Singapore River. Over time, the East-West line was also built to accommodate new residents and workers in the area. Many of the stations of both the NS line and the EW line serve as air raid shelters with anti-blast steel doors or civil defense stations. At the time, the development of the MRT was Singapore's largest public project and costed $5 billion for construction. Altogether, the Singapore Mass Rapid Transit system spanned 97 kilometers and 56 stations. Many of the planned station and track lines were changed to other locations as well as the addition of new locations due to conflicts. In 2011, the longest underground automated MTR system in Singapore, the CC line, was completed. It stretches 36 kilometers in length and consists of 31 stations, costing $6.7 billion in construction. The main designs of each station were specific to each unique historical backgrounds of the areas of each station. Other lines are also in planning, the downtown line to be completed in 2017 that will be 42 kilometers in length, and the Thomson line that will be 30-kilometer underground system to be connected to the rapid transit system that links Singapore and Johor Bahru in Malaysia. Other lines in planning are the Eastern Region Line, Jurong Region Line, and the Cross Island Line. During the transportation revolution, technology back then blocked roads as they built and took a longer time, but current new technology uses viaducts to build at a construction site and erect at the actual location. This makes the process faster, safer, and causes less interruption to roads and reduces construction duration. Construction of railways in the modern world improves people's lives because it reduces car use and driving since it is faster, leading to the increase of volume in people being transported, which in turn will reduce pollution. Because more people spend time on the train, there will also be an increase in productivity as well as a decrease in stress levels. The only downside of modern construction is that in the beginning of projects, they usually create a massive blockage to land transports, interrupting daily life of citizens. Another concern is that in order to build the transit systems, many properties need to be taken over for required track alignments, and this is a major inconvenience to the owners of said properties, despite them being compensated. However, after the initial stages of construction, these problems are not as serious anymore, and as the railway is built, there is more benefits. Unlike the old railroad system, modern transit systems are built as superstructures which are above ground, requiring less space and reduces sound pollution due to the electric train. We can see how much the transportation industry has truly changed from the first steam locomotives to transporting millions of people every single day. Although both systems, new and old, have their own pros and cons, there is no doubt that the railroad set the foundation for new technology by upgrading and evolving using old trains as a benchmark to develop with electricity and electronic power rather than steam locomotives.